Get strong.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, everyone, and welcome to this first impression podcast for our two recently released episode of two new shows. One of them even released this lovely evening slash morning, depending on the time zones you are. I'm your host of the night, Isaac Wolf, and joining me tonight is Jamie. How's it going, Jamie?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here. There are a ton of shows, it feels like, that are starting to come out. So I'm glad that we could sit down and talk about a few of them today.
And also joining me is Didge. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. Jamie is right. It does feel like a lot of stuff came out. Obviously, it's the beginning of the season. It makes sense, but it feels like they all came like the same 2 days. Like they're all Friday, Saturday releases or like Thursday, Friday releases.
They never spread them out.
No.
And today's subject of all is two shows that got not that much coverage, and should I say? I don't know if I should not that much of coverage since we talked about it in our previous episode. But it's the first one I felt like we could start with is Zenshu, which is the one about the girl who gets transported to another world after she passes out during her work as an animator. And I want to start with you, Did, since you're the Isekai fan here. What's your first impression about the episode?
I didn't know this was an isekai until I was watching it. I know Jamie brought it up when she was talking about it last episode, but I forgot by the time I watched it. Mm-hmm. So, I was here for just the story on her, trying to do her job and stuff, especially after watching the Guild Receptionist anime. It was more of like I like my job, but I don't like the extra work that this job takes. I was in that type of vibe. And then she goes into the other world, and I'm like, oh, this is a completely different story than I was expecting. But it was a lot of fun. Like, the world that she set up was interesting because you already had the vibe, because when she was watching it, she talked about how it was a poorly received anime. So you're like, oh, this is going to kind of be a mess or whatever. And you're kind of sort of seeing the failures of the story. And then when it came time for her, is this spoiler? I don't want to give away too much if it's not spoiler.
We can, it's the first impression. So, and it has been out for about a week. So this episode, Sakamoto Days, might be a bit less spoilery, I feel, since it came out a day as of recording, or tomorrow as of the publishing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to go too deep into like this stuff, but like when she started using her drawing skills to like that scene, I was already hooked, like just from like, all right, I want to see where this goes. But when she used her drawing skills to really save the town, and like the magical girl transformation into a writer's desk was amazing.
That was incredible.
I am fully in. And then seeing the creature that she made and seeing it like have the powers and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm 100% in, because the only question I had when she got isekai'd was, well, she's a very normal person. What kind of power is she going to have? And so I love the fact that they made it back to, well, she's an animator. Animation is going to be her power, and it was cool. Yeah, it was beautiful. Like the animation was crazy, which I'm not surprised by. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I totally have to agree. I said when we were kind of teeing up what Zenshu was going to be, as far as just looking at the winter anime for this year, that this was going to have some like really great animation just based on what we saw in the previews. If you haven't already seen the episode, it gets so much better than just what the previews show, which is insane. Not unexpected from Studio Mappa, who's known for doing a lot of really impressive things when it comes to animation. But again, like we said with the preview, like they're also known for not having the best work culture and not necessarily like treating their workers in the best way that they can. So it's interesting that they are going to be the ones that are kind of helming this anime. So I don't know if this is kind of a cry for help, or maybe even just like, you know, a dedication to all like the hard work that they've had and kind of like giving people somewhat of a light into things, and also kind of showing like maybe why they push themselves so hard. Not necessarily like validating all the treatment, but maybe an insight as to like, oh, like, you know, this is what it means to me and this is why I'm willing to do extreme things to achieve it, kind of thing. But going into the actual anime itself a little bit, really enjoyed it. I was surprised. We did talk about like, will we get to see her face or not, and maybe like some of those conditions. You do get to see her face in the first episode a little bit, and I feel like I kind of understand in what instances will we get to see more of her, get to see like some of her personality shine, which I'm very much looking forward to actually. I'm kind of curious now that clearly, you know, she talks about being well, actually, I think I mentioned this about her being like isekai'd into her favorite anime. Clearly, you know, she's going to change the events of some things. And I'm kind of curious how this works back into, I guess, the crux of why she's having this issue in real life as far as it comes to like animating this romance anime. And part of it that was discussed in the trailers and not so much in the anime quite yet was the fact that, like, you know, she's never been in love before. So I feel like either way you look at it, it might just be like kind of a tragic love story where even if everything does work out in the anime and she falls in love with like the main hero or anything, he's not a real guy. This is not a real world. She's gonna leave and end up feeling probably heartbroken by the end of it. So I'm curious, like, is that the route that we're going that feels like kind of, I guess, predictable? Or will there be something else that we can kind of look forward to? But yeah, this has been a great start. I was actually disappointed today, like coming into just our first looks, because I'm like, oh yeah, I get to watch like episode 2 of Zenshu. Comes out tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much so looking forward to episode 2. And hopefully you guys will check it out as well.
I'm curious about how, obviously, like you said, this is her favorite anime. She's making changes, or potentially, well, for sure making changes. We already saw the big one in this first episode. I wonder if it like takes effect into the real world. Like, is she gonna go back at the end of the series or wherever, and some of those changes that she made are now like canon to that anime story, and like I wonder how that affects the real world and stuff. So it's interesting.
Oh, if that happens, then it might be possible that she doesn't even end up working on a romance anime. What if she's just working on like the sequel to her favorite anime because it was so successful?
Yeah.
Then she doesn't have to worry about that at
all. I mean, first off, she did ask, is she dead? So I do believe it could somewhat be a cry for help, but also honoring that. It's funny that you mentioned the whole of being in love with the main hero. Over under 50% that she meets an animator in the studio that looks just like the main hero in the studio and ends up in love with him at the end of it when she gets back to her world, so to speak.
Interesting question.
I feel like you don't get anything, like if that does happen, which I think there's a significant chance that it's like you get that. I think that's a literal end of the series. You know, she comes back, I don't know, maybe feeling sad or whatever, and you just sort of see the person. Mm-hmm. And like it's almost as if you're noticing them for the first time and she's noticing them for the first time.
Oh, that's cute. I don't know. That almost feels too cliche happy ending for me. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I would also be like, come on, how did you not notice this guy looked like your hero of your favorite anime? You know, like how did you never notice?
I mean, it could be like his first day. Like maybe it's not. I didn't notice him. Like, you just started working here.
That's true.
Or you could do the cliche of she was just too much into her work that she didn't notice him.
That is the cliche.
Her hair was getting in the way; she couldn't see. Maybe.
I mean, love the whole bit about they didn't believe she was a human because they didn't saw her face until the end.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was interesting that they gave an in-world explanation as to why her hair is in front of her face, and it's simply because she like hasn't got a haircut in however long this production has been going on. You would think that so you just push it to the side and keep going, but apparently she had bangs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I do like that they kind of added that explanation instead of it just being like her character design, because I was fully willing to accept that that's just what the character that they wanted to make. But the fact that it has a story reason, I'm like, oh, that's funny. So at the end, we can look forward to her cutting her hair, something like that.
I also like with it though that they didn't go the cliche route of like, oh, she's just that shy. She doesn't want to show her face. Like,
Yeah.
you got the inclination to like, no, it's almost like the playoff beard, like for people who watch sports. Like you sacrifice the vanity for a bit because you're so focused on this external goal.
Yep. That's true. I agree.
And also, I know that this is just the first episode we are talking about, but do you think Mappa is going to do this as a one-shot, one season, or do you think this will be a seasonal show? Since they do have so many other shows they are producing, like what's the one with the guy with a human head in the crocodile body?
Dorohedoro.
Dorohedoro, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and whatever else they have. I can't remember, but you get the idea. They have Ranma also.
I do feel like this is a one season anime.
Yeah, that's the feeling that I get as well. I kind of don't know how it would work as a full-on series. Yeah, I don't know. Like, even if she like jumped into like different shows continually, like I feel like the freshness of the idea would kind of not have a lasting effect in future seasons. So I feel like this is probably just like a one and done kind of thing. Regardless of like Mappa having a billion projects, because clearly they're willing to say yes to about anything, so they have the metaphorical time. I don't think that they're gonna take this past one season. What about you, Isaac?
I agree with you, and it just feels like a story that will just easily drag on too much if you do more than one season, unless even unless you do a 20, I don't know. You make the season 6 episodes long and it's only 24, then that's one way, but I don't think we have a usual 20 episode seasons for this, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even feel like this is a one season of 20. Like, this feels like 12, 13, and we're out.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it could be done in less time or less episodes, but I don't know if they really wanted to bring it to like 20 something. I could maybe see it. I don't know, but I don't think it needs to be that.
Yeah, as long as it's a good show, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still cooking, if you're still being entertaining, and I'm here for it, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, please, Mappa, let your animators see their family, not be stuck there until their 90s. With that said, do you guys have anything else to say about this before we move on to the other topic of tonight?
No.
This one definitely came out of nowhere for me as far as looking forward to anime in the winter of this year. Honestly, I don't know if I had too many expectations for winter this year, but I'm glad that we did our first preview at some of the anime that were coming out, and we checked this one out because I think this will definitely be a favorite of the season for me. So if y'all haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I think it'll be good.
Something that you feel that we all are glad that it became a reality. If you seen the episode, you know the reference. Let's go to the main topic of tonight to an extent, and that is Sakamoto Days, which has been a heavily talked, hyped, depending on where you are at, series, considering some controversies with the opening, yada yada yada. But since I have read the manga, I want to have you guys start and have the focus, since I would like to hear your first impressions, what you guys think, and maybe what you believe the future could be of it.
You can start, Didge.
All right. I enjoyed the first episode. I think we were talking about it last week. I didn't have too many expectations. Mainly because I didn't know too much about it. Like I said, it was something that was recommended to read a lot. But then by the time I really got around to it, it was, well, the anime had been announced. So it was like, all right, we'll just wait actually. Like, there's I don't want to say that people were saying there's no point in reading it anymore, but obviously I feel like animation is more accessible. You can watch something while doing whatever more than you can read while doing whatever. So it's like that. But yeah, the episode itself was fun. I like the aspect of how much he still has the mental capacity of a hitman, but he just takes that and uses it in everyday life. Like it reminded me a little bit of Way of the House Husband in that aspect.
Yeah.
He takes that same seriousness and takes it to in his life, and I like that a lot. It's fun. It's funny. I wasn't expecting to laugh as much as I did. Like I didn't know this was going to be more comedic. I thought it was him having to go back and do something almost like a John Wick style of, you've been out of the game, they've brought you back in. Now it may get there. Don't spoil for that. Don't spoil that for me, please. But I really like the aspect of, I just want to live my life. I'm going to still have the same way that I'm living my life. Like I'm still going to have that same mental capacity. I'm still going to have that same seriousness to it, but I'm all about just wanting to live this nice life. I got a family now. I'm retired. I like, even to the point where he had a shirt that said retired.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun for sure. I read the like first preview chapter that was included in like the Viz manga sampler, and it pretty much said everything that was in this first episode. So I'm kind of thinking, was it the first chapter or the first volume? I'm not sure, but in any case, everything that's happened in this first episode I've seen. Maybe I read a couple chapters more, I don't know. Clearly, I read some things. That's what we can put it down to. And I've seen pretty much everything that's happened in this first episode, and I feel like it was adapted really well. Everything that I like laughed at when I saw it for the first time, I still laughed at in this episode. And the animation was great. It definitely it almost felt like Dragon Ball Z in a way, where things were happening so quickly, and it's just like you're trying to keep up, and like, oh, he did this thing and then this thing happened, and it's like very like high octane action for sure, which is cool to see, especially from our main character Sakamoto, who is not your typical like spy or like fighting character. Like he's a little bit more like a bigger frame kind of dude, but he still has the quickness that everyone else has. In fact, he's probably quicker, and he has the mental capacity to like conduct the way these fights play out. Even with fighting Shin, who's clairvoyant, like he was still able to like beat him by like kind of using his own game against him. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see, I guess, like what happens moving forward. I feel like this could kind of be somewhat of a slice of life, and then just like, assassins kind of come in and mix that up a little bit. But I really do think that this is gonna kind of continue to be the tone of this series, where it's like him taking care of his family, obviously, like teaching Shin the way of a retired assassin, I guess you could say. And then there's some assassin antics that kind of come up that he has to kind of take out the trash. But overall, I really think this is going to be fun. Kind of somewhat of a slice of life kind of thing with a little action.
That's fun to hear that you guys enjoyed it. And I know that Jamie was a bit lukewarm of the opening, which got quite a critique online before the anime aired. And I need to hear from you, Didge. What do you think of the opening? Because opening was something that people, but this is gonna suck, kind of deal.
Oh, I didn't take it into the like, oh man, the anime is gonna be bad from it, but I didn't like the opening either. I was like, oh well, this is one I will not be keeping going. Like I watched it because I didn't watch it prior to the episode or anything. So like I've been hearing people talk about it, but I never really paid attention. So watching it for the first time this episode, I was like, well, all right, I've seen it. I don't like it. Next episode, I'll skip it. That was that was it.
Yeah. I was definitely like somewhat similar where I know Isaac and Mike and I had a discussion about the opening when it was released online, and I typically don't try to check those things out before the episode comes out, especially like I think it was like about a week before the show is actually going to premiere, so I'm like, I'll just wait. And to hear that like so many people were like put off by it, that they were concerned about the show itself. Now after having seen the opening, I was like, they chose something stylistic. It didn't work out. We're gonna move past it. Like it, I don't think it was that bad where it's just like a detriment to the show. I'm probably gonna watch it a few more times just to see, because there have been like some. I'm still working through Naruto. And there are some openings that either I don't like the song or like I don't like what's going on. Although sometimes I don't watch the opening because I have spoilers in them. But sometimes the song will grow on me. If you listen to it enough, I feel like you'll start to like anything. So I like maybe at some point I'll be like, you know what, this opening ain't too bad.
That's fair.
But we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nice. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. It came in what I wished for. Sure, could animation be better? Absolutely. But we can also look at X-Arm's The Berserk or Majority of Blue Lock Season 2, and I'm just, no, this is good. I get what people mean that it deserves one of the crisper animation, because the choreography in this manga is insane the right word? Yeah, it's right. So you can't just have PNGs flowing around type of deal.
Yeah,
that's fair.
If they had to do that for the intro to make the rest of the anime fluid, so be it.
Yeah,
maybe that's the last of the budget. Like they did everything else. It's like, oh, the intro. And throw some stuff together. Well, it's fine.
I wonder if also I do wonder this. I do wonder if they are going to give this a bigger budget as soon as Stone has finished, since Stone is on its last season. I know that Bones gave Mob some extra love and care during its last season, and that showed a bit on My Hero Academia until when the Mob Psycho season ended. The animation got a lot better, and I mean a lot better.
I don't know if that's gonna happen in this particular case, because like Sakamoto Days and Dr. Stone are running at the same time, and Dr. Stone will have a part 2, and Sakamoto Days will have a part 2. So I feel like they're gonna probably be running right alongside each other probably the whole time. So I don't know, unless they can maybe they can recruit some more people to work on animation if they need that. I don't, as far as money goes, I'm not sure that they're going to get the same boost that you saw with like My Hero or between My Hero and Mob, or My Hero and Mob.
I just hope that TMS Entertainment gives give their animators time to meet their family, have a normal life at least.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That definitely should be prioritized over anything. So yeah, I agree with that.
So, but do you guys have any speculation about this show moving forward that you haven't mentioned now?
I personally don't. I think, like Jamie said, I feel I do get the vibe of it's going to be slice of life-ish with action sprinkled in. Again, please, if it's not, do not spoil me. I don't want to hear.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
No, I'm talking even for the comments. Like I don't want to know. But yeah, I'm here for that ride. Like I said, it gives me the vibe of Where the House Husband, and I feel like it's gonna kind of stay that way.
I agree. I don't have any expectations either, honestly. Just looking at the poster, it's like clearly, there's some characters that we haven't met yet that are going to be a big part of this series. So I guess just looking forward to meeting them and finding out what their deal is. They're probably all going to be assassins, so we got that much. But
Right.
yeah, outside of that, I guess just seeing how they kind of factor into this story.
And if you guys want to watch the dub starts next week.
Oh,
if I'm
actually,
not mistaken. And the dub has guess who is voicing Sakamoto in the English dub? You know, you guys know the voice actor quite well, especially Jamie.
Ooh.
It's not Alex. Alex is voicing one of the characters in the. He's voicing the guy on the left of Sakamoto, but he's not voicing Sakamoto. Guess who it is?
I don't know. He didn't talk a lot.
He didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Ganondorf himself, Matt Mercer. It's the English voice of Sakamoto. I heard that in the trailer, man. I recognize that voice. Oh, it's Mercer. That makes so much sense.
Interesting. That's another thing, actually, is like from what I read and even what we saw in the episode, like Sakamoto seemingly doesn't talk a whole lot. And I wonder if that's just, I guess, for at least the manga, looking at the manga, making it more simple with like, oh, I don't have to do as many speech bubbles. I could just like focus on action. Or if he's just like more of a like really reserved kind of character because, you know, he's an assassin. So maybe he's trying to keep things close to the cuff. At this point, he's, you know, a retired assassin. But yeah, I'm curious, like, is that going to be discussed at any point? Just asking an open question, doesn't have to be answered, but is that going to be discussed as far as like, does he not talk a lot for any particular reason, or if that's just the way he is? I don't know. I'm curious because that's not very typical in anime.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do get the stoic character who they're sort of aloof. They're, you know, but they're, I guess, to your point, they're not typically the main character.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Yeah,
that is interesting.
But the dub, I actually watched this in dub, so the dub is already at least for episode 1 is out.
Is it already out? I thought it was next week.
Yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, I watched it dubbed. I just thought about that.
Okay, I saw it was next week. Sorry, I was misinformed. My bad.
Not simulcast.
But do you guys have anything else to say?
No, I have nothing else.
I'm kind of curious, I guess, just like how much the wife knows about his past life. It seems like she doesn't, but I'm wondering, is she just like playing that to him in his face, but secretly she's like, I'm married an assassin, maybe for a reason. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That's probably too much sus, but like, you know, I like to add a little sus.
That's crazy. Yeah, you went off the deep end with that.
She could be an opposing assassin. She's like, I'm gonna take out the biggest threat by marrying him. See, that's third level chess. That's all I'm saying.
That's a lot.
That's probably not what's happening though.
That would be 5-level chess and not 3-level chess.
Yeah, that would be crazy, but that's probably not what's happening.
Yeah, but
betrayal.
Mm-hmm. But with that said, Didge, where can people find you?
You can find me at Didge D in all places. That is, you can see it there this time. Never mind. Just look in the corner. That's Didge. Then at DEE at the end. You can also find me at Geekset Podcast. Podcast episodes every other week. For anything else, just stay tuned to the social media. It'll be there first before anything.
You guys can find me at Swiper_Prime on Twitch and YouTube. Playing through a few different games here. I forgot to say in our previous recording, but I, in real life, just finished recording the series of Signalis, which is a horror indie game. Really great game, actually. So I'm excited for you guys to kind of see how that playthrough came out. And then as far as stream goes, I'm trying to finish up Indiana Jones before heading to Metaphor, which I'll probably be playing for the remainder of the year. So be excited for that.
Nice. And you can find me at Blue Sky, Twitter, the pod at the Amateur Otaku pod. And I'm going to start my writing again with Wolfright, and I have some other projects on the line. But with that being said, if you guys have anything doesn't have anything else to point out to, I just want to say, hope you have a great listen. And if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe and hit the bell. Have it awesome, y'all.
See ya.